Hello, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with 30,000 clients worldwide and over 40 years experience in the business now. I always say that just in case this is your first video that you're watching. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this particular video, and on this video I'm going to be speaking with you about your personal power. Now, I could have called it a number of different things: unfolding your power, how to be powerful, unlocking the power inside of yourself. There's so many different titles that I could have given this video, but what we're talking about here is your ability to act. Your ability to act and your willingness to act is what power is. First of all, let's look at what power is not. We generally think in terms of people in the world as being powerful when they're dominating, manipulating and controlling. Oh, they're a very powerful person. Better watch out for this one, better watch out for her, better watch out for him. He's a very powerful person. She's a very powerful person. When really what they mean is that they are a dominating, manipulating and controlling bully, and forcing people into their way of thinking through control and manipulation. And that's not what power is. Power is your ability to act. Now, everybody has the ability to act. That's a God-given gift. But it's the willingness to act that is important. It's basically your willingness to have impact. You see, we live in a space-time rule set, and in that space-time rule set we've written the rules. And part of those rules is that we've written impact into the rules of the game. Impact is the ability to act and the willingness to act in order to have impact in my reality. Now, you've got to work out what sort of impact that you are having. But we had to have impact written into the rules, because only if I can hurt you, then I can love you. Without the ability to be able to have the impact of hurt of you, I could not have the ability to love you. If I only had the ability to love you, we wouldn't have choice. And we must have the choice to be able to do the negative in order to be able to do the positive. We must have the ability to have negative impact in our life and upon those who are in our life with us. Otherwise, we could never learn to love. So I must have the ability to hurt you so that I can also have the ability to choose to love you. Otherwise, it would just be a dictation by God and Goddess without a choice. So you need to own your impact. And there's 7 steps that I'm going to run through with you that are the steps to becoming powerful and to expressing your personal power. The first step towards becoming powerful is to be honest. Honesty. Now, this means being honest to yourself. This is not about telling the truth about yourself to everybody that you know. This is not show and tell time. This is being brutally honest to yourself about the impact that you are having in your life. Be brutally honest with yourself. Look at that face in the mirror and look at every line in that face. And look at that face for 10 minutes and speak to yourself there and say, I am going to be brutally honest now about myself. My level of honesty with myself is very, very important. And what sort of impact do I have? Tell yourself the truth. What lies do you tell to yourself about yourself? What problems do you have with your own self-image? What level of integrity and trust do you have inside of yourself? What about your addictions? What about your addictions to alcohol? What about your addictions to drugs? What about your addictions to self-punishment? What about your addictions to low self-esteem? What lies do you tell in order to gain advantage? What do you do to yourself to sabotage yourself from success? How much time do you spend wallowing in self-pity and fear and anxiety and doubt and insecurities? Own those belief patterns. Understand that your raw materials, your attitudes, your beliefs, your thoughts and your feelings are the representation and presentation of you to the world. When all's said and done, your personal power comes from your personal, living, loving, breathing relationship and co-creating partnership with God, Goddess, all that is. The second step towards being powerful is to recognize the impact that you are having on your children through your drug addictions, through your alcohol addictions, through your arguments and conflicts in the home in front of them, through your desire to dominate, manipulate and control your spouse, through your bad habits as far as food is concerned and the wrong choice of food, from the lack of exercise that you indulge in, and realize that your self-pity, your self-sabotage, your anger, your shame puts out a wave of resonant causation into your home and family and all of your surroundings in your workplace and with your friends and social life, and that this has impact upon others detrimentally. It's time to own your impact. The third step towards being powerful is to have responsibility. Being responsible means having the ability to respond. That means to have the ability to respond to a situation in your life from the appropriate level of maturity. We all have inside of ourselves an infant. It's part of our soul, so that in every lifetime that we go through, that infant is a natural state of expression at that level. And then there's the child. That's part of our soul as well. And that's very important there to have that child as being part of that soul. One of the faces of the soul is to have that child there, so that the child is there for every single lifetime in that appropriate stage of development. And then there's the adolescent. And that's a stage of our development that is an aspect of the soul, a face of the soul. Then there's the young adult, and then there's the adult. And then on top of that, there's the spiritual adult. Having responsibility means to be able to respond to a circumstance or situation in your reality, in your life, from the appropriate level of maturity, from the appropriate level of consciousness. So if you are responding to a certain situation as an adolescent and you are an adult, then that's not the appropriate level to respond to. And so you are not therefore accepting responsibility. We all see this happen so much in our lives with other people. We see them responding as an adolescent to so many situations and circumstances in life. Going off and getting drunk when they have to face responsibility about the pressures financially that they have, or the pressures in a relationship, or the pressures in the job or something like that. Off they go to get their drugs or to get their addictive gambling or whatever their addiction is. That's not appropriately responding to a situation, and therefore it's not taking responsibility. The more responsibility that you will take, the more power that you will have. If you will only accept responsibility for your immediate circle, well then that's the level of and the limits of your power. But you can have an impact on a wider circle of influence through adopting and accepting that responsibility. You can change the course of world events through accepting responsibility for the outcome of world events. The fourth step to being powerful is the willingness to be powerful and to take a good look at your belief patterns. Do you feel as if you're not good enough? Do you feel as if you're not a loving person? Do you feel as if you're not a perfect person? Do you feel as if you don't deserve to be powerful? Do you say to yourself that you don't know my secrets, and worse, you don't know my shame? Every single one of us deserves to be powerful. Well, why aren't they powerful? Because they aren't willing to be powerful. The fifth step in being powerful is to have courage. Courage is the ability to act. We all have the ability to act. Courage means taking a stand on your character. We all have ideals, and those ideals are a set of principles and values that we hold up in front of ourselves, and we aim towards those ideals knowing full well that we'll never attain that goal, but we become more of who we really are through the striving. Courage is the willingness to be wrong in the pursuit of what's right. Courage is the ability and willingness to express character. Character is the frequency with which we adhere to our principles. Principles of honesty, principles of integrity, principles of trust, principles of commitment, principles of reliability. How do you adhere to your principles? How often do you adhere to your principles? That's the thing that determines your character. And courage is the willingness to adhere to your principles. We all live in a space-time rule set, and in that space-time rule set we all need boundaries. And if your boundaries for your life are not based upon your principles, and therefore your character, then your boundaries will by default be your blockages. The sixth step to being powerful and unfolding your personal power is to express love and to be willing to receive love. Giving love and receiving love. Being loved and allowing yourself to be loved means that I will, because of your love, I will change. And so you work on changing those negativities within yourself, those addictive patterns of behaviour, drugs, alcohol, self-pity, cigarettes, anger, shame, fear, doubt, insecurity, low self-esteem. All of these are our addictive patterns of behaviour that we all become enamoured with. How loving are we of ourselves when we indulge in bad food and don't exercise and go in for all of our addictions? So to adhere to the principle that because you love, I am going to allow that love to change me. And the seventh step to being powerful is to trust yourself and others. How different would your world be, how different would your reality be if you trusted yourself 100%? if you trusted yourself to have integrity and trust and commitment and principles and values to express your character, how different would your reality be? It's important for all of us to understand that our ultimate power is our co-creating, living, loving, breathing relationship with God, Goddess, all that is. Without them, we wouldn't be in life, and they want to be our partner. So it's important for all of us to unfold our personal power through these 7 steps that I've laid out here before you. I'm happy to play my part in helping you to become more of the giant that you truly are. You are a beautiful person. You have a lot of goodness, truth and beauty there inside of yourself. You've got a lot of power, strength and talent there inside of yourself that's waiting to be expressed and to get out. It's time now for you to have character, the frequency with which you apply your principles and adhere to your principles and values in life. How much time do you put in on a daily basis to meditation? How much time do you put into introspection and reflection that you can do in that meditation? That's a form of meditation that you can do while you're driving to work or in the train to going to work. You're sitting there by yourself, even if there's someone next to you. You can introspect and reflect upon aspects of yourself that you want to change, and how often that you are adhering to your principles and values. We can all make these adjustments and changes within ourselves, and the way to do that is to develop wisdom. Wisdom is the synergy, a synergy that is greater than the sum of the parts. The parts are experience and an intake of knowledge. You're having all of the experience in life, and some of it is not very nice. And now it's time to have an intake of knowledge. You'll never gain wisdom just through experience, and you'll never gain wisdom just through an intake of knowledge. It's a combination of the two, experience and an intake of knowledge, and out of it comes a synergy, a whole that is greater than the sum of the parts. And that synergy is wisdom. So I call upon you to apply yourself to the task at hand. I offer to you 12 CDs free of charge. Get stuck into my CDs out of my first book, What Really Matters, on astrology, meditation and reincarnation. That intake of knowledge will transform your life. And then to go on further into my CDs out of my second book, Coming Home, An Eternal Journey, that goes deeper into all of these subjects. You have come to my website because you are on the same line of development as me. You're on the ray of love wisdom. So it's time now to develop that wisdom. It's time now to apply yourself. It's time now to unfold your goodness, truth and beauty. It's time to unfold your power, strength and talent. So I thank you for your attentiveness here. Come to my website if you haven't come there already. Put your birth details in through the Your Horoscope page of my website, www.mysteryofsirius.com, and let's work together as a team to unfold those powers that you have inside of yourself. So I thank you for your attentiveness here and look forward to working further with you. Thank you.